that, well, we are down to 4 machines in this U.S. Hobbit Association Camel Monster Truck Championship. The 4-wheel crazy Ford Ranger of Texan Rob Morris pulls out onto the floor to take on the challenge of the most fabled machine in monster truck history. The #1 qualifier by an incredible 3-second margin. Jim Kramer and the awesome Bigfoot Ford lines up alongside the newcomer in this sport to determine one of the 2 finalists. It's a pair of Fords and a pair of Chevys, guaranteeing the classic double brand war in the final round for the fans. Jim Kramer's qualifying run was one of the most astounding we have ever seen. Almost driving this thing like a sprint car pilot. Literally full throttle, drifting all 4 tires into the corners. But we found out already at this event and previous championships here at Oklahoma City this year that Rob Morris can handle this course right with Kramer. This should be one of the best matchups we've seen so far, including a first round that saw 3 races decided all the way into the last turn. Stage and awaiting the green. They leave together and are dead even at the halfway mark of the first straight. A bad bounce for Kramer. Look at him take the turn, though. Unbelievable. He makes up 2 truck lengths in the first full straight. Absolutely astounding ability. Jim Kramer by 3 truck lengths takes the victory and goes to the final round. With driving like that, who in the world can stop him now? As track announcer Mike Galloway put it, he makes it look so easy. Kramer, the epitome of calm, just yanking the steering wheel left and right, drifting into the corners and crossing the finish line 3 truck lengths ahead of his opponent. Now, the war for Chevrolet honors between the Carolina Crusher and young Greg Holbrook in the equalizer rear-engine machine that made this semifinal round by virtue of being the quickest loser in the 6-car first round of eliminations. Once again, taking a lot of time to line the red and yellow machine up properly. But one thing's for sure, one of these 2 drivers is going to have to show the crowd something pretty amazing to even gain a bit of favoritism over the Bigfoot Ford going into the final. Holbrook already staged. He's only waiting for Porter to get ready. Holbrook does everything he can to keep from nodding off. Porter still trying to line the machine up on the other side of the course. Now is within a few feet of the starting line. Now both drivers are staged. Holbrook says it's about time, drops the visor and waits for the green. Porter gets the whole shot and has about a half-truck advantage at the first juncture. Now into the turns hard. He straightens it out, but Holbrook is back in the lead. Now Porter has problems negotiating the crush cars into the last turn. Unbelievable. Up on the right front tire. But incredibly, Holbrook has broken directly across the track from Porter. Porter puts it back into gear and will come across a winner. Look at the replay of one of the most out-of-shape runs that didn't flip a truck we've seen this year. Limping across the finish line, waving to the crowd, Porter goes to the final round against Bigfoot. When we return, the Crusher Chevrolet takes on the big Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York, as we get ready for the 4 quickest qualifiers to do battle in the Camel Mud Racing Shootout. Dave Ray out of New Hampshire and the Midnight Magic entry, certainly the last of the competitive full-bodied pickup trucks in super modified mud racing. Nowadays, with the rear-engine dragsters and lightweight Alders and street roasters that dominate this category, it's rare to see a true full-bodied pickup truck, a solid 3,000-pound hitter. But David Ray has probably one of the strongest in the business, a supercharged, fuel-injected, methanol-burning Ford motor. On the brakes hard, but he'll stop. Great run. And here's a guy who's carrying some weight, Jeff Acker, who qualified number 1 at 1.687 seconds, the first man of the shootout. Acker shuts it down, and he's shaking his head. He knows he shut it off too early. 1.896 seconds for the man who put down the second quickest run ever earlier. But here's Tom Martin in the Super Trooper. The three-time world champ has to go quicker than that 1.896 to take the lead. Martin, a beautiful run, 1.890 seconds by 0.06 of a second. Martin takes over the number 1 spot. Rich Marcini out of New Jersey ran a career-best 195 in qualifying. But a lot of tire spin on the starting line, and a 2.05-second run won't help him a bit. And Todd Martin wins yet another U.S. Harvard Association title. Here at the Nassau Coliseum, Tom Martin picked up yet another U.S. Harvard Association win, but this one was probably the most difficult he's had to battle in years. It took a career best elapsed time just to qualify for the field, and then a 0.06 of a second difference to win. How close was it? Even Tom didn't know when we talked to it.
You had to go quicker than 189.6. You shut it off early when it 189.0. Did you believe it? You got it by 0.06 of a second, but you had the same frame of mind apparently that Acker did. You were worried about going out.
Well, this is getting slick down here, and there's a little bump in it. You know, I didn't know if I did it or not. The starting line's got real bad ruts in it. It didn't take off real good, but hey, whatever it takes, we got it.
And that is exactly what it took. But in the meantime, it's Jim Kramer in the awesome Bigfoot machine. Certainly the absolute dominant force in this event on a rare oval course. He'll be up against Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher Chevrolet, which got into the final round in the wildest possible way. Jim Kramer actually staging up very quickly. We'll see if Gary Porter takes as much time as he did in the semifinal. No, they leave the starting line. Kramer has a little bit of an edge as they go into the first turn. A little bit wide for Kramer, and Porter is not that far behind in the Chevrolet. Kramer goes wide, almost hits the wall, now stabs the throttle, and picks up another victory by 2 full truck lengths. Certainly more on the ragged edge than we saw him at any other point during this event. Kramer in the final round let everything loose, and now settles the truck on top of the crushed cars to salute the crowd. What a job. Another absolute dominance of an event by the incredible St. Louis-based Bigfoot team.
I'm here with the guy who is no stranger to victory lane, Jim Kramer, driver of Bigfoot. You put another one on the belt.
I tell you what, my Firestone tires really dug in and out. You know, it's around the corners. I was making more time around the corners than I was in straightaways, I think.
And while both drivers in that final round were working hard on the steering, listen to how hard they both worked on the throttles as well.
Jim Kramer and Bigfoot number 9 takes the win in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
It's a battlefield, and there's no question it still looks the part. But people are going to be remembering the Nassau Coliseum mud pit for a long time to come as the site of an absolute war. There's no question that it's becoming apparent that there's no love lost between Jeff Acker and Tom Martin. And when the race is decided by 0.06 of a second, it could very well be these two battling it out for the Camo World Championship at the end of the season. In any case, it will continue. On behalf of myself, Bret, Kepner, and Kris Chapman, thanks for